Okay, so thank you, Ambassador Ikechi, as I fondly call you. I don't talk to you about the role of travel agents in any tour phenomenon, Dirty December or whatever. I can tell you definitely that we're not, and we are not spectators in the game, yeah, because we manage bookings and talk about it a lot. We manage disruptions for domestic connectivities, and then we definitely manage itineraries for our inbound, our inbound diaspora at that time. So Anago has done justice. Anago and Dr. Iyaduni, they've eaten into our time. I don't need as much time as they had. Anago has done justice to Dirty December by making us understand that it is not just a social December, definitely is an economic season. Dr. Iyaduni, by the way, I am always very proud at what a hotel does every year. I make sure that at least, in December time, I go into a hotel at least, once in a day. So I'm very proud of what, they do. Dirty, Dirty December. Yeah. And being a branding person myself, I am not very comfortable. I'm not very comfortable with Dirty December, even though I know it is not DIRTY. I know it is DETTY. So yeah, I'm not very comfortable about that. So let us now go back. Yeah, let's go back to Dirty December, lessons learned, what we think should be done, and all of that. I think that we listened to Anago. I listened to your opening speech, Ambassador Ikechi. I listened to Dr. Yaduni. There is no alignment in Dirty December. I really don't know what it means. I think we should start by defining it. I know what massive influx into Nigeria means in December, but can we start by defining Dirty December? Because if we don't find a definition for it, we will not be able to plan for it. We will not be able to get the alignments that we need for it. So you said that Dirty December is January in the East. Yeah, Anago says that Dirty December is November to January, and Eco Hotel has a version of their own, even though they do not necessarily agree with the name. And I know that even that name is being contested. There are some Nigerians, I think a couple or so, that say that that name belongs to them. So that name is also in contest. So I think that we should start by defining what Dirty December really, really is so that we can start planning for it. But what does it do? What does it do? Yeah, it generates income. Things in travel and in tourism. It improves aviation traffic because there's always a massive influx. It helps hotel occupancy. I'm surprised to hear that. Okay, well, so that is what is happening today. That's the trend today. That a hotel that I live in December time, almost every hotel, is fully booked. You couldn't get, including Airbnbs. So it helps hotel occupancies. It helps event economy. It definitely helps event economy, even though I think that the event managers and, the promote 100,000 naira. That's over $200, slightly over $200 for a standing ticket. It excludes so many Nigerians, and 30 December point of view that minimum wage is 70,000 naira. So 300,000 for a standing ticket. So what that did, yeah, was that it made people go into more intimate 25. They did, yeah, but they were not into all the mainstream events. They went more into intimate gatherings, remembering that Nigerians that come from the diaspora they're from. Diaspora return. It helps diaspora return because aside from the fact that yes, December had always been a time for diasporans to return to Nigeria, particularly encouraged and drawn by Detty December, and then it definitely helps FX info. It helps FX info. What are the problems that we can talk to you about from travel? I remember Ambassador Ikechi was talking to me. Oh, you want NANTA to talk about figures? It's always very difficult to speak to raw data that I am not confident about. But we can speak to trends and we can speak to patterns, you know, in the downstream travel aviation. As travel agents, we can speak to trends and we can speak to patterns. So what happens? Another reason why we can't give you that data is that, that international travel influx, most of those tickets are bought outside our market. So if somebody is traveling from maybe uh, 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 Ontario to Lagos, or traveling from London to Lagos, or from JFK to Lagos, 8 times out of 10 times, that ticket has been purchased, outside our market, either from London or UK or whatever, because the influx is into Nigeria. So we can't speak confidently to that raw data, but we can speak to patterns and trends. And what are the patterns and trends? Massive influx, particularly in Lagos and Abuja. I'm sure we all know that. That's for international travel. There is high demand and congestion in the airports. There are queues and all of that. I I am not negative. I don't feel in any way negative about those congestions because that is the experience. That is what it is at that time of the year. Because if you go to many of these developed countries too, at peak seasons, you will find those congestions. So those congestions are not just Nigerian, it's part of the experience. So if you're a diasporan and you come into Nigeria at that time, you know that yes, you don't land Nigeria. You are now in Lagos or in Abuja or wherever. There are domestic constraints. We talk about it all the time. It is nothing that can be solved by magic wand. It's a capacity issue. We know that the minister, is always talking about capacity, access of local airlines to dry leases, which is better for them. So there is definitely that capacity constraint. Yeah. So there isn't enough. There isn't enough capacity, for the domestic connectivity that we need, in December time. There are operational challenges. Statistics show that in December, over 50% of flights are cancelled in 2 days or the next day or that day. You are probably not going to get there, due to it's something that we've been talking about that we talk about here. And what do we think should be done? I don't think, yeah, I personally don't think that Detty December will always follow. I think that we have Ikechi Oko here, who I call ambassador. I heard him when he was in Berlin. He said he was talking about Aquaba that it is you in the house. Yeah. Why are we looking at government? Because what we need to do about Detty December, when we finish with the definition, what we need to do about Detty, it is not government that will do that for us. For Detty December, why can't EFTAN For example, I know the EFTAN president is coming in after me. Why can't EFTAN, for example, step forward? Why can't we step forward? And that will run through. I think it is possible. All the answers are not in my head. But I think that with people like Nkechi Oko in the House, with people like Susanna Korea in NANTA, with people like the former president in Kwame, you know, I think that we can pull these things to. I think that EFTAN can own December if we all collaborate, come together behind EFTAN, if we tap into the support and energy of a co-hotel and our other partners. I think that we can own it. So what do we need to? We need to find alignments. We need to find alignments. Detty December has a very sporous and sparse definition. And then we name anymore because the name is like fire now, yeah. But definitely we need to find alignment. December, just like the Dubai Shopping Festival, just like so many other festivals, just like the festival that you are at now in Germany. Reposition December. Yeah, we need to reposition December from that season of chaos. And what we paint, aside from the form that we have in December, when we look at the massive influx, airport congestion, when we look at Uber drivers, Bolt drivers, suddenly cost 30,000, it's chaos. So we need to reposition, you know, it won't happen overnight. But if you see what the co-hotel is doing now, we see that everything is season, from that season of chaos to a season of positive social and economic outlook. And I still think that EFTAN can do it. I think that EFTAN is in a position to own that product in Nigeria. So early planning, yes, we need to do that. We need to be more predictable about Detty December in 2026. So now, since this program or this webinar has been put together, thinking about collaboration, what we should do is that what will be the outcome from a webinar like this? What should we start doing from today to make Detty December in 2000?